Everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy,
I'm Matt.
and we're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And boy, do we have a big week this week. This week, one of the big things is DC's Night Terrors is
Oh boy,
beginning.
big.
And because of some upcoming holidays, we have 3 weeks worth of books from DC on this one. So I'll let you know how it's going to go. We are going to talk a little bit about Night Terrors at the beginning, talking about the main series, and then because there is so much, if you stay to the end, we will be going over all of the mini series, at least that are up for order this week. So definitely stay tuned for that. But we are also going to be clipping that part of the show out and having it as a separate video as well if you just want to see the Night Terrors
Yeah.
parts. There's some great books coming out, some great covers, so you don't want to miss that. But we know not everyone's interested in it, so we didn't want to bog down the show in the middle with tons and tons of Night Terrors. So, other than that, though, really solid week all around. Some other really big books. So, definitely follow along. Head to infinityflux.net where you can pre order any of these books right now. And if you subscribe to them, of course, you get that 10% off. It's going to be great. So, let's get into it. Starting with Night Terrors. Night Terrors First Blood. Now, this one is important because this is your kickoff
Yeah.
point for it. They even say this is like the uh I would consider it an issue 0
Yeah, and
almost.
that's probably why they should have done it. Like go
Yeah,
old
it's
school
funny
and
because the main Night Terrors is going to be 4 issues long,
yeah.
but it's like,
But this isn't one of them.
but it's five
Yeah,
issues.
it's
Like,
five
let's be
issues, right?
honest. Even when you read the solicitation for number 1, it says like after the extra-sized number 1 or the extra-size one-shot issue. So if you're planning on reading Night Terrors, definitely pick up Night Terrors First Blood. This is going to be written by Joshua Williamson, which I'm very excited
Yeah.
of. I love all the stuff he's doing right now. The art is done by Howard Porter, and this really just sets up what is Night Terrors. So in this, the Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman discover a body of one of their oldest foes in the Hall of Justice, and this is going to lead their investigation. It says beyond the land of the dead and directly into the hands of the new villain Insomnia. So sounds really cool. I really like this premise. It's a little bit of Halloween right here mid-year. Some spooky stories, all of that.
I'm excited for it because it's written by this whole thing is sort of being architected by Joshua Williamson,
Mhm.
who is killing it right now in Superman and Green Arrow. But he's also a great horror slash kind of dark fantasy
Yeah,
writer with Darkrai to Image. He had Nailbiter,
yeah.
Birthright. So it's like he's combining his two like things that he's really good at. He's putting them together into this one story. So the fact that he's sort of helming all of this makes
Yep.
me really, really excited because he's so good at the horror stuff and the superhero stuff.
Yes. So I'm very excited about this. This is our A cover. We also have our Jay Lee variant. You can see Dead Man is going to be playing a big part in this.
He's awesome.
Yep. We have our Mattina variant.
It's
This
so
is
cool.
it's very almost sci-fi
Yeah.
looking.
There's some good Mattina covers throughout this whole
Yes.
event.
We also have a blank sketch cover. Now we also have Dawn of DC Night Terrors number 1. So I would definitely treat this as a number 2 because you'll
Right.
definitely want to get that first one. But this one, I guess, kind of kicks off the main story. In this, insomnia has caused everyone in the world, almost everyone, we'll find out a little bit
Almost
more
right.
about that, um, to fall asleep or be trapped inside of their nightmares. And it is up to Deadman and Batman, who I guess Batman doesn't sleep. He doesn't need to
Right.
sleep.
He needs
They're
sleep.
going to work together to find out who Insomnia really is and what is it going to take to wake everybody up. So, really cool. Very excited about this. Hard to really tell the difference between the First Blood and this, what makes them different.
Right.
But, this is really kicking it off. So, still written by Joshua Williamson, and we have a couple of artists on the main title. So, this is our A cover. We also have this is the Mattina for this one. I like this dead man who kind of has like a death shroud
Yeah.
on. We have the let's see.
It's MALEEV.
This is the
Yeah.
Alex MALEEV variant. I guess this is a dead man went inside of
In Batman,
Batman.
yeah. Pretty cool.
And we also have this Ivan Rice Darkest Hour neon cover. So I guess they're doing this for most of the books. We talked about that First Blood
Yeah.
had one last
Last
week
week,
where you
yeah.
could order it. Now you can order this one. So that is the main Night Terrors books that you can get. So stay tuned to the end of the show, where we'll be going over all of the miniseries. Uh, we have Night Terrors Batman, we have Night Terrors Shazam, Night Terrors Black Adam, so many more. So stay till the end to see that.
So next for Marvel, we have Fallen Friend #1, Fallen Friend: The Death of Miss Marvel. Excuse me. This is a commemoration of Miss Marvel in the Marvel universe because she unfortunately died in Amazing Spider-Man #26. Everybody's heartbroken. So this book, in particular, is a one-shot. It's going to feature various writers and artists. Um, well, we don't really know. Like the solicitation hasn't told us too much about what the story is, but what we think is going to happen is we think that it's going to be a almost an anthology book of Miss Marvel at different points in her career. So, for example, there is a story written by Mark Waid, and we know that Humberto Ramos is one of the artists. So we think that they are going to come together to do a story centered around her time with the Champions because they had a great run on the Champions in 2016. And there's several other writers and artists who are we think are going to be collaborating
Mhm.
on other stories from other times in her career as well. So if you want to, follow along, if you've read Amazing Spider-Man 26 and you want to see kind of how the Marvel Universe reacts to her passing, then this is the book to get. So we have our A cover here, and then our B cover is by Adrian Alphona, and then our Carnero homage variant.
Okay, next up we have Untold Tales of I Hate Fairyland. Very excited about this one. I love the main I Hate Fairyland, and they are expanding upon that with this kind of anthology style series that is going to be 5 issues long. Each issue, I believe, is going to have a different artist on it, and just telling like fun tales that don't pertain to the main storyline of I Hate Fairyland, but explore some other just kind of goofy little short stories. So this is again written by Scotty Young, and this first issue, the artist is Dean Ranke, and the cover is by Mike Del Mundo, which I think is
Oh,
really
yeah.
really cool. Now that I see it, I can see his art style on that. But it's gonna have uh, artists that have worked on like Simpsons, Invader Zim. So I think you're gonna get a lot of various art styles in this, and there's just the one cover for it. So
Okay.
easy enough to pick up.
So next we have one that I'm really excited about. So this is World's Finest Teen Titans #1. So this is written by Mark Waid, who is doing Batman Superman World's Finest, which I also love, with art by Emanuela Lupacino. This is spinning out of Batman Superman World's Finest, where it's in the not too distant past, where Dick Grayson is still Robin, but he's a little bit older, and this book is all about his adventures with the Teen Titans, and we're talking the original Teen Titans. So Wonder Girl, we've got Aqualad, Kid Flash, Bumblebee, and Speedy are in there. This is before like all the new Teen Titans with Beast Boy and Cyborg. So this is the original Teen Titans. And in when in this book, when they're not fighting, they are spending their time managing their image and cultivating a rabid fan base. So just like Batman, Superman, World's Finest, even though this is set in the past, it's a little bit more
Mhm.
modernized because I feel like, the Teen Titans of the 60s and 70s, they wouldn't be like, managing their image. It almost sounds like influencers. It's not that, but
Yeah.
it does feel like a little bit modernized, even though it's still
They're
it's
gonna be
tales of
like
the
teen
past.
heartthrobs.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. But while they're doing all that, a danger from the shadows intends to tear them apart. So we don't know who that is or what that is yet, but I'm just really excited for this because Batman Superman World's Finest is great. We actually have in that book a couple times we've
Mhm.
seen Robin and these Teen Titans together And every time I saw that, I was like, "Oh, I would love for that book to be a
Yeah.
thing," and then now it is. So this is really cool. So this is our A cover by Chris Samnee. We also have our Doc Shaner cover featuring Robin, and then our blank sketch variant.
Yeah, very excited about this
Yeah,
one.
this
This is
is
right at the top of my list of
absolutely.
most anticipated. I
Hmm.
love that team, and it's not too often we go back to that team. Usually we
Right.
go to the Wolfman and
Yeah.
Perez era, but this one back when Garth Aqualad was on it, Dick Grayson, Donna Troy. It's just a whole. It brought a different flavor
Yeah.
to it. So very excited about this book. Next up, we have X-Men Days of Future Past Doomsday. Now, this one is really cool. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries, much in the way that we've had like the Symbiote Spider-Man series. We've had the Venom Lethal Protector series, all the ones I can think of
We've
from the
got the
X-Men
Danny
ones.
Ketch Ghost Rider right
Danny
now.
Ketch Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Marvel has been going back and picking out very key time frames in the past and telling stories, kind of expanding upon stories from those times. And this time we are going back to the very classic X-Men Days of Future Past timeline. But this time we are seeing what are the events that led up to what we know happens in Days of Future Past, where basically most of the X-Men are wiped out. You just got Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, and this really brought in the Sentinels in a big way. Well, in this one, it's going to be written by Mark Guggenheim, and the art is by Manuel Garcia. And we're going to be doing just that. We're going to see what are the events that led up to there being like a sentinel on every street corner. How are the X-Men going to survive this? We know they don't all do. So what happened to them and how far will they go to survive? This is going to really push Wolverine to the limit, and maybe we see where he gets that cool leather
The
jacket
jacket.
he's got
Yeah.
on the cover of that issue. But
I wonder if we'll see somebody actually pasting the pictures up on the
it
wall, like from
has
that one
to.
cover in the 9 grid thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something happens, somebody walks by and just like puts an X
Yeah.
through, they're
Yeah.
gone. There goes Colossus. But I'm very excited about this. I like these time frames of the X-Men that they're going to. I love the brown suit Wolverine,
Hmm.
so
Oh yeah, he's my favorite.
very cool. This is our A cover. We also have this is our Hellfire Gala
I
variant.
guess they're still having the Hellfire Gala in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I think is this Kitty or is this Scarlet
That
Witch?
looks like Kitty to me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of her
Yeah.
Marauder's suit. We've got this Liefeld homage variant. I love this one. So this is the
Oh.
Cheeks Galloway variant, and it's a Saturday morning variant, like a Saturday morning cartoon. I want to see this for every book.
I
I
haven't
want to
seen this yet. Is this going to be a new line of
hope it's a
variants?
line of
Oh,
variants
that's neat.
because it's so much fun, and we're gonna get some demand of these shows
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
being real. But very
And
cool.
it's
Love
funny
that one.
that that Saturday morning variant is done in that style because X-Men did have a Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly.
It didn't look anything
It
like
didn't look
that.
like this.
Yeah.
The suits were a little bit
Sure.
similar, but and then we also have the Stormbreakers variant as well.
So next is a new one from Boom called Sirens of the City. This is written by Joanne Starer with art by Carrie Randolph. This is set in New York in the 1980s, which already piques my interest as a kid
Hmm.
of the 80s. This follows a teenage girl named Layla, who you can see on the cover here. But she is being stalked by every supernatural creature in the city. But they're after her, but they're also after her unborn baby as well. We don't know why yet. The solicitation wasn't very long, so it doesn't give us too much information about what the story's about. So we're gonna have to figure out why are they after her, or are they after her, or is it just the baby? Is it both? We don't really know. But this sounds like another really fun horror book from Boom Studios, which they have so many good ones, and
Yeah.
this sounds like another of good ones. So this is our A cover here by Randolph, and then we have our Frizzen cover there, and then we have our foil variant, which is just a foil version of the A cover, again by Carrie Randolph.
Next up, we have a book I'm very excited about. This is Gargoyles Dark Ages. This is again going to be written by Greg Weisman, who is the creator of Gargoyles originally, way back when it first came out, the show. But this is going to tell the story of a time period we've only seen in a couple of flashbacks and everything. This is the time when gargoyles and humans live side by side. So, I guess in the Gargoyles universe, it was it's more of a fantasy universe, like even in the past, because uh it talks about like there are wizards and everything,
Yeah.
and I guess this is kind of a past that's lost to history
Yeah.
because I know in the show it was like
It's supposed to be modern.
modern and no
So
magic.
real
Real,
world,
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm very excited about this to see kind of what what made the gargoyles, what they became, and kind of what relationships they had. Maybe we're going to see the first meeting of a lot of them. Everything just sounds really cool to get another book in the Gargoyles universe, but with a little bit of a twist to it. So this is our A cover for that one. We also have our Qua variant. We have our Mirka and Dolfo variant. We have our Danino variant. We have our Henderson variant. We have our
Oh, that's
action
cool.
figure variant, which is cool because this looks a lot like the old
Yeah.
box for the figures that I'm always on the lookout for. And we have the FOC variant. This is the Hacer original variant.
Web of Carnage #1. This is going to be written by Ram V with art by Francesco Manna. So in the Carnage Reigns story that's going on right now across Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Carnage and Red Goblin, that story is focused on Cletus Cassidy. He's inside the extreme Biot armor.
Yeah, to save or not.
This Web of Carnage story actually focuses on the Carnage symbiote, which is not attached to Cletus Cassidy right now. It's kind of floating through space, just kind of floating through the stars, but it has its eyes set on the throne of the King in Black, which sounds pretty cool.
Hmm.
But in order to do that, it's going to have to clear a whole bunch of hurdles. It's gonna, it's not just there for the taking. The symbiote's gonna have to work for it. And the first thing that's standing in its way is Moreland, who we last saw in End of the Spider Verse during Dan Slott's, or in the current Dan Slott Spider-Man book. We saw him in the other Spider Verse events. And so seeing him, we've seen him fight all kinds of spider people, but now seeing him fight the Carnage symbiote, and then if the symbiote wins, it might make it to the throne of King of Back. Like it,
I
that
feel
all sounds
like
really
I
cool.
feel like there's a good chance it's gonna make it there, and
Yeah,
we're gonna have a huge conflict.
that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So this is the first issue here. So this is our A cover. Then we have our limb variant, and then we have our Philip Tan connecting variant.
Yeah, the connecting ones, there's a few of those you'll see some later too.
Oh
Is
yeah.
is really interesting. I'm trying to figure out the theme of
Oh, I remember this. This is actually when you connect them all. It's actually an homage to the X-Men, like Jim Lee's X-Men in the '90s, where they're all like lounging.
Oh, interesting.
Because in one of the other covers, I think it's Eddie Brock. Is kind of like lounging in a chair. When it's all put together,
Oh,
you'll
and I'm
see it for
wondering
sure. Yeah.
if that's like
Yeah.
Colossus
Yep.
and
Exactly it. Yeah.
okay, cool. I couldn't pinpoint, but I was like, I think this is homage to something.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have a new Last Ronin one shot. This
Okay.
is TMNT The Last Ronin Lost Day Special. So, like I said, it is a one shot written by Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz. The art is by Ben Bishop, who also did this cover here. And in this, April is taking the new baby turtles. They say baby. They're
They're
can walk
they're
and talk
young.
and
Yeah.
everything.
They're kids.
Yeah, the new Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Kid turtles.
Kid Mutant Ninja Turtles, I
Yeah.
guess.
Taking them on a supply run because this is kind of a post-apocalyptic world. Taking them on a supply run, but something happens where they get lost and they have to make their way back to their sewer layer. And all the while, after the previous last run in series, there's a power vacuum in New
Mhm.
York for someone new to step in and be the leader and be the new big bads there and everything. They're going to get caught in the crossfire of that.
It's certainly cool because my favorite part of the last run and the Lost Years is going on right now is the parts with them and with the
Yeah.
younger turtles in. I love seeing them. I want to see more of them. So we're getting a whole book devoted to them, which
Yeah,
is
I have
really
a
cool.
feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of
Yeah,
them
that's
coming
awesome.
up. But this is our A cover for that one. And we
Oh, I like
also
that.
have this is the Beals cover, and there's also a Kevin Eastman variant, but it's not pictured because it feels like the Eastman ones never are, and they're a nice surprise when they show up.
Next up is What If Dark Loki #1. I actually didn't see this on the list, so I don't have any notes for this one. But I do know that this is a series of Marvel is doing a series of these What If Darks, which
Yeah.
And one of them is what if Gwen Stacy lived and Spider-Man died during the big battle with Green Goblin. Actually, I'm
This one
not.
is where
Loki gets Mjolnir in
yeah,
this, yeah, but I don't know what happens after that. But I mean, I guess he's worthy. I guess
yeah, that'll be interesting to see because it's dark, so it implies bad, but I'm not sure if that's really what it's gonna be. If it's more of a play off of like the Dark Avengers
Yeah.
idea, maybe building up a new idea for the
Oh,
Dark
that would be cool.
Avengers.
Because I don't know if what if Dark Loki is Loki number one, two, three, four, or is it what if Dark and then the second issue is like the Gwen
I
Stacy
think
book
they're
or
all just one shots,
okay.
like what if Dark Loki. I think there's a what if Dark Moon Knight, but
Oh,
it's kind of
see.
like a dark twist
Yeah.
on the original story.
Yeah. Oh,
But
sorry about that. I didn't see this in our notes and I just completely skipped it. But
it's cool. I'm really excited about all the dark stuff because
yeah.
I love the little twists on a story. It's not like a multiverse thing. It's like a Elseworld tale
Yeah,
type
and
thing.
it's or more modern like the Black Label stuff, which
Yeah,
it can just do whatever it wants to do. You don't have to worry about current continuity because it's its own thing. And but yeah, we have our A cover here by Simonson, and then our Emma Lupacino variant.
very cool. Okay, next up we have our other number ones because that wasn't enough. There is still more number ones coming out, and we are going to start with some manga titles. We haven't really
Yes.
done this. Usually, if we include these, they're in our like graphic novel section. But I think these are great new kind of properties that people can jump on with. And a lot of the times, I was just thinking about this when people think of manga they think of them in the Western sense as like a one manga equals like one graphic novel. And I think more one manga equates to like one oversized issue of a comic because you can read that in about the same amount of
Hmm.
time. And they're all numbered and everything. So kind of consider these number ones of comics. But if you've never read manga, I feel like you're in for a treat with
Yeah.
these. Starting with this one, which is Joker 1 Operation Joker,
This makes me just laugh every time. It's so funny.
Volume 1. Uh, so this is by Satoshi Miyazawa and Kazuki Gatu. And that's the artist you see doing the cover there as well. So I think it's very interesting. This is the Joker in this looks a lot like the Dark Knight
Yeah.
version
Yeah.
of the Joker. But in this, if you can't get it all from the cover, something has happened that has de-aged Batman Bruce Wayne, and it is now up to the Joker to be a single father and raise this Bruce Wayne to be kind of the Cape Crusader he's
Yeah.
always known to
I mean,
be.
it de-aged him to a baby.
Yeah,
So
that was a hard hit that
yeah.
de-ager took. But I'm just really interested what we were talking about this before. What has caused the Joker to want to do
Yeah.
this? Is it that like instinct that he's like his job in life is to be the rival of
Yeah.
Batman, and so he has to be like, well, if I'm ever gonna get back to that, I've got to raise him. I don't know, but it sounds like such a fun premise that it's like I gotta check this one out.
So next is another one with Superman. This is Superman versus Meshi, and this one also sounds fun because I don't really know how you do a story around this, but Superman goes to Japan every day for lunch to try a new restaurant, and that's pretty much it. He every day he tries a new something. He flies off
And it
to
doesn't even say
Japan
a
and
fancy restaurant. He just goes to like basically fast food
yeah, he
restaurants.
just wants to try different dishes and things like that. So I'm interested to see what the story is about that. Like, I mean, it's got to be more than just him flying off and
Food
trying.
manga is a big thing, so for
Yeah,
like food wars and
Food
everything.
Wars is great. Yeah,
But it'll be interesting to see, like, is there going to be a threat, or is it
right.
just like Superman doing food reviews? Which I'm there
I
for
would
both of them.
either one. Yeah, like just this whole thing. I don't know what it is, but I know I want to read it.
Yes, and I also love this Superman looks a lot like a Christopher Reeve
Yeah,
Superman, which
yeah.
very classic. Now, next up is one that's a little bit more serious than I don't know. That first one may end up being very serious,
Good.
but this is Batman Justice Buster Volume One. Now, this one is a. It feels like all of these are kind of taking their own um, angle at the different characters.
Yeah.
This one. Batman must raise, he must up his game because in Gotham, crime just getting worse and worse. So he creates a computer program called Robin to help. what is that Robin system going to be? Is it going to be like an AI, or is it going to be, what is it, and how will that what's this version of that Robin going to be? But it's cool. It's a kind of a world without a Robin, so
Yeah.
Robin kind of takes the form of something else. Looks like there's some other characters in here, which I'm wondering are those.
Maybe they are Robins
Yeah,
assisted by this Robin system. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. So very cool. Reminds me a little bit of that Dan Mora short
Oh yeah.
story in the back where it was like the Dark Knight Protocol or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
a new armor thing he
Right.
takes on. So kind of a way to play around with the terms of Batman and things, but give them their own little twist.
So next is a new one from Image called Swan Songs. This is written by W. Maxwell Prince, Ice Cream Man, haha, that
Hmm.
kind of book, and with art by Martin Simmons. So this sounds like it's going to follow the same type of storytelling as something like Ice Cream Man, where it's just anthology stories. I don't think there's one through line like just like Ice Cream Man, although you had the Ice Cream Man, but other than that,
Yeah.
they were their own stories. But these are different stories about endings. Now, the first issue is about the end of the world, but there's going to be other stories about the end of a marriage, or there's going to be one about the end of a sentence. I don't know how you write a story about the end of a sentence, but just stories about endings, and each issue is going to be its own thing, just a different thing. So anthology books like this are great. Ice Cream Man is really interesting and creepy, and it sounds like this is going to be more of the same. But they aren't all creepy though. Like there's a
Yeah.
few issues of Ice Cream Man, and they're just like fun and kind of light, and that sounds like that this might be the same kind of thing. So. If you're into that kind of storytelling, this is definitely the book for you.
Very ambitious. Very
Yeah.
ambitious idea that I think is very cool.
Yeah, so we have our A cover here, and then we have our B cover by Malavia.
Yeah, and I think each issue also is a different artist. The first one
That's
is
right.
Simmons from Department of
That's
Truth.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that's also going to be a very cool.
Ooh, that's gonna be rough. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be dark, probably.
very
That's cool.
dark. Okay, next up, this one's really cool. So this is Lock and Key Welcome to Lovecraft Anniversary Edition. So Lock and Key, I feel like more people know about it now since there's the TV show on
Yeah.
Netflix, but it started as a comic 15 years ago. I was a big fan of Lock and Key before it got turned into anything. Just the tone of it was so cool. Well, they are returning to it, but this isn't just a reprint or a facsimile of that. It is still written by Joe Hill and art by Gabriel Rodriguez, but this time it's going to have a different ending, a bad ending. So I think that's super cool. Like, if you were very familiar with the story, like I feel like I've read that first volume a couple of times. I know it pretty well. Uh, to see like it's going to be a one shot with a bad ending. It's like I feel like it's just going to stop the story in its tracks
Yeah.
by whatever's going to happen. So if you're a fan of Lock and Key, you've been kind of missing it. You want to get back into it. This is a fun little you know extra little snack on top
Yeah.
of everything. So very cool in there. And there is a few variants for it as well. So this is the Gain variant, and there is the Howard variant.
So we've got a new one from Image called Weird Work. This is the first of a four-issue miniseries written by Jordan Thomas with art by Shaky Kane. I like saying that name, Shaky Kane.
Hmm.
Or is it Shocky? I'm not sure. But
Shaky.
Shaky, okay. This is described as like a hard-boiled crime noir story combined with bright alien worlds. So I think it would they alluded that to like Futurama, like the worlds in Futurama, but all like gritty crime noir stuff. So this story is about a character named Detective Avra Sauce, Sawce. They get a new partner and have to investigate a triple homicide, but the triple in that triple homicide is a billionaire's assistant, a cult leader, and Sauce's former partner. So I guess that's why Sauce has a new partner
Mm.
because the former one got killed in this triple homicide, and they just have to solve the mystery. What happened? Who done it? That kind of thing. So it sounds really fun. I really like this cover because like you said, it's bright, colorful worlds, but a gritty story at its core.
It's very zany.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this sounds really fun. I love a good like murder mystery, who done it kind of thing. So this is our A cover by Kane. We have our B cover by Mike Allred. Our C cover is by Rodriguez, and then we have our Darrow cover.
Yeah, very cool. I love weird alien worlds where it's
Yeah,
just like you don't know what you're gonna
anything
see.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next up for Doctor Who fans, there's a new Doctor Who two-issue miniseries. It's called Doctor Who Doomsday. This is going to be written by Jodie Hauser, and art is by Roberta Ingranata. And in this one, there in 24 hours, an assassin needs to find the doctor, who is the only person that can save her life. So the doctor usually does not like people who are assassins or do uh, deadly things to people. So will he help out this assassin? We'll have to find out. But if you're a Doctor Who fan, you got a new little mini series coming. So this is our A cover, and we also have our photo variant.
And that's also what Doctor Doom calls his birthday, Doomsday.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Next, we have Star Trek: Day of Blood #1. This is written by Christopher Cantwell, and then Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. So
That's a big.
you've got your Iron Man and your Captain America writers all together for Star Trek, with art by Ramon Rosanis. The immortal emperor of the Klingon Empire has stolen the Bajoran orb of destruction and has just commenced a big slaughter across the stars, using this orb to wield untold power, and he plans to declare war on all who do not follow the red path. And it's going to be up to Captain Benjamin Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which I always thought was really cool, and Worf to stop him. Like that's a cool. I think Worf was on Deep Space Nine in the
Yeah,
later seasons,
he
right?
came in later.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool. We're going to see them together again and taking on this other Emperor of the Klingons, wielding this massive power.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't this the Free Comic Book Day Star Trek that
It
led it was like
was.
a lead into this.
Because
So
the cover was just the Starfleet emblem with blood dripping down it,
yeah,
and when I saw this one today, it was making my notes. I was like, "That's weird. Another Star Trek book with like Star Trek's getting all bloody. Like there's
yeah,
blood." But you're right. It was the Free Comic Book Day. So we have our A cover here, and then we have our B cover by Rosanis, who is the. This is what the interior of the book will look like, because this is the interior artist, and then our Finoglio
yeah. I
cover.
think that's from Lower Deck.
Yeah, that is great. I wish the book would look like that. That would be fun.
I have two versions, one
Yeah.
that's serious and one that's kind of goofy. Okay, next up we have a new book from Keenspot called Rebel Girls with three R's. This is written by Danny Harrell and Robert Ahmed, and in this it is about a girls who are cursed with the power to resurrect the dead through music. Now it's hard being an all-girl punk band and everything, especially when they go on a tour. It says they're from Alabama, so I love anything set
Okay.
in the South. Uh, they're from Alabama, and they go on tour in the South, and they are being pursued by a ghoul who is disguised as a record producer. So I feel like this is like a musician's like nightmare.
Absolutely.
But sounds fun, and if you are a looking for something with a little, non-superhero related stuff, this sounds like a good time. This is our A cover, and then we have our B cover by Fatina. Okay, and next up we have full covers and other comics. This is number twos, number threes, and just other cool covers we want to make sure you don't miss. Starting with
Adventures of Superman John Kent #5. This is the next to last issue of this miniseries. In this one, sounds cool because the Super Sons are reunited in the Injustice world, and they're going to have to take on the entire. It says the entire world of Injustice. I don't know if they're going
that's
to
a
be
lot.
fighting both sides of the conflict in that universe, but it's just cool to see John and Damian back together again. So this is our Jim Chung car slot cover, and then we have the Hayden Sherman variant.
And next up we have this is uh Multiversity Harley screws up the DC Universe number 5 of 6. Just some great covers for this one. This is the Akuna variant. And we also have the Lenoble swimsuit variant. So those are still going on as well.
Steelworks #2. The first one just came out a couple weeks ago. John Henry Irons opening up his Steelworks company, but there is a competitor who is wanting to destroy the company. He recruited a guy. Like, we don't really know much about him from the first issue, but from the solicitation, we get a little bit more issue. I guess he gave him powers. It's really unclear in the first issue, but in this one, they're calling him the Silver Mist. So I don't know what that entails. Maybe he can just turn into mist or whatever. But he infiltrates Steel's armory, which sounds pretty cool. It's, John Henry Irons gonna have to watch his back. So this is our A cover here, and then we have Clayman, and then we have our Sammy Bassri variant, and this is the interior artist as well. So that's what the inside looks like.
And next up, we have Superman Lost #5. So we're halfway through this. It's going to be a 10-issue maxi series, so halfway through. And this one, this is our Lee Weeks variant cover. That was really nice. I love the white suit on
Mhm.
Superman. But also, this is in the present day. Is going to see Clark Kent try to resume his job at the Daily Planet, but of course he's still very sensitive from all the stuff that
Mhm.
happened while he was away.
Is
So,
that a Green Lantern?
looks like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's been a really fun series, and I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the second half of this.
Wildcats #9. In this one, Grifter gets the team back together to finally take down the Halo Corporation. So this has been a great series so far, and some really good covers. This one is our Paolo Pantalina variant.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of the
One of your
members
birds of prey.
of your Birds of
Yeah.
Prey. Next up, we have Loki #2, following up this week's Loki #1. And not a whole lot about this one that we don't already know, but Loki is now playing the good guy. You know, he's kind
Mhm.
of been doing that recently, but he has to contend with a big mistake that he made from his past with this weapon that he created that is now lost.
That is made out of fingernails.
Well, his boat's made out of fingernails.
But the weapons are made out of pieces of the boat.
Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, through the transitive property, the weapons are made
That's right. Yes,
out
yeah,
of
exactly.
fingernails. That is still disgusting.
That yeah.
So this is our A cover, and then we have our Mateo Lolly variant as well.
Next is Miles Morales Spider-Man #8, and this cover is awesome. Nice homage to Amazing Spider-Man. I lost the number. Is it 238? I think. You know, Hobgoblin ripping the Spider-Man costume apart. And in this one, and it's very fitting because in this issue, Miles takes on the Hobgoblin, which I am super excited about
Yeah.
because I love Miles, I love the Hobgoblin, but the Hobgoblin might not be the only thing that he has to worry about in this issue. So really excited for this one. This is our A cover. We have the Bernard Chang Hellfire Gala variant.
Looking
Miles
very
looking very
slick.
very svelte. Yeah, and then we have our Jim Chung variant as well.
Jim Chung doing a lot of covers this
Yeah.
week. Okay, next up we have Amazing Spider-Man #29. Talk about like one of the shortest solicitations ever. I know there's been some that are like one word, but this one is basically like, has Spidey met his match? Which I feel like you
Uh-huh.
could put for like any Amazing
Right.
Spider-Man issue, but this the art is done by McGinnis in this,
Mm.
so I'm very excited about seeing that. This is our A cover. We have our David Nakayama Hellfire Gala variant. Looks like the two uh, partners of Peter Parker
Yeah.
are attending together. We have our Disney 100 variant, this time with that Captain Marvel #1 homage with Minnie. And they're also doing Amazing Spider-Man 26 second printing. So, of course, that was a big issue. If you want to get all the covers for it, you'll check this one out.
Planet of the Apes #4. The series continues. In this one, Juliana must guide the apes on an 865-mile trek from New York City down to the CDC in Atlanta. But it's not going to be an easy road for them to travel. So definitely don't miss this if you've been collecting this series. This is our John Jane variant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anytime it's like the big gorillas and stuff,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that. Okay, next up we have Red Goblin. So this makes more sense
Yeah.
now.
She has the legs, right? I don't remember who that is laying out.
That's Eddie
Yeah.
Brock's legs.
Yeah. Right.
No, but this is Red Goblin #5, and this starts a new story arc called Nature versus Nurture, and so this is our connecting variant that goes with a lot of the Venom and Carnage books going on.
So next is Scarlet Witch #6. So this actually sounds pretty cool because up till now, Scarlet Witch has had it pretty easy. She's gotten into some fights and things like that, but she's very very powerful. You know, she can make anything happen that she needs to. So in this issue, you know, she has the door where anybody who needs her help just magically comes through it. In this issue, an enemy of the Kree Skrull Empire comes through her door, and they need her help to kind of not really get revenge, but you know, one of their comrades has been killed, and they need her help. So it's going to lead her into conflict with her son, Wiccan, and his husband
Interesting.
Hulkling, who they are the heads of the Kree Skrull Empire. So is she going to help the person who came through the door, which is what she pledged to help anybody who comes through her door? But will she do that if it means going up against her son? So I think that sounds pretty
Yeah.
interesting. And then on top of all that, a familiar figure appears in her shop, and it seems that the rumors of his death may have been greatly exaggerated, but we don't know who it is. So I don't
Interesting.
know. So that'll be cool to see. So we have our A cover here. And then we have our Lucas Wernick homage. Oh wait, that was
Yeah.
the homage
Yep.
variant, yeah. And then this is our Momoko variant.
Yep. With Wiccan and Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, next up we've got our Star Wars Cavalcade for the week, and let me tell you, these are some great ones. I'm very excited about this new arc of bounty hunters. They could have almost have made this a new number one, at least the last issue. So in this, Boba Fett is marked for death by Black Sun. So Boba Fett has joined this kind of new version of the bounty hunters team. We've got Dirge on there this time. Very cool, but I'm excited. Black Sun, Shadows of the Empire fan. Black Sun was the big villain
Mhm.
organization in that. Prince Zizor and stuff. So very excited to see what is going to be going on with this new kind of iteration of the bounty hunters, and some fantastic covers this time. So this is our A cover. We have our LaRocca variant. Yeah, Deathstick is another member of the bounty hunters in this. This one I love. This is our
These are
Jerry
great.
Ordway. What are they calling these? The Ordway Classic Trade Dress variants. But it's more than a classic trade dress. This is like this would fit right in your original Marvel
Yeah.
collection of
What
Star
was the
Wars
other one
books.
that had one of these?
Pretty much all of them are doing it. I
Okay.
think it was just Star Wars, and you'll see another one coming up.
Hmm.
But these are so good. We also have
I like these
our
too.
Return of the Jedi anniversary cover. And also we have Darth Vader number 36. This one it says Darth Vader is betrayed, uh, and it's not by who you think. So I don't think it's Dr. Afra. I don't think it's Ochi, but it does say it's the return of Triple Zero in BD, the two very horrible, murderous droids, the evil doppelgangers of R2 and C3PO. So looking forward to that issue. We also have this is the Vecchio variant. Here's the other one.
Yeah.
So this is the Ordway there with Sabe and Ochi. Very cool. I'm getting all of these. Like I
Yeah.
just
They're
love how
great.
these look. And we also have our 40th anniversary, and I made sure to look. And this one, yes, is called "It's a Trap."
Oh, nice. Very cool. Spawn number 343. Just continuing everything that's going on in Spawn, but we just wanted to show you this really cool cover. This is by Keeber, right? Keeber, I believe. And then there's also is the Virgin
There's a
Victors
version of this one too,
that's open
which
order, right?
yep is
Yeah.
open order. So it's nice they're doing those. They're not
Neat.
incentives. They're just open order. I feel like with all these variant covers, there has to be an art book coming because
Oh, that
they're
would be a great
so
art book.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Maleficent number 3. Just wanted to show you this great J. Scott Campbell cover featuring her dragon form. So very cool.
And next, I love this title, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos number 2.
Number 1 has not come out
No,
yet.
I know, and it sounded really interesting too. So not much to tell you about how the first issue was and where it's going, but we do want to show you these covers here. This is our A cover by Robles, and then there is a foil version of that same cover.
With Dracula Boy.
Oh, is it Dracula?
No, it's the foil version of that cover, but it just says Dracula Boy.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a okay, yeah, my bad. I thought it was the A cover, then the foil A cover, but no, that's not right at all.
Mm-mm.
It's okay. Nice.
Okay, next up we have Frank Frazetta's Tales of Science Fantasy number 2. This is the Frazetta variant, and I'm a sucker for anything with sharks on it.
Oh yeah.
And this is just fun because this story is inspired by the painting Requiem for a Shark, which I believe is this cover right here. So just a fun title all around and fun cover.
Next, so
Did
fun.
you read number
Not
1?
yet.
Okay.
It's I've got it at home. I haven't read it yet, but I know it's going to be great. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter. This is number 2. In this one, I should have read it before I read this solicitation because I know that Raphael, I guess he loses,
Mhm.
and he demands a rematch, an unsanctioned rematch with
In the
Guile
street.
in Atlantic City. Yeah, that's awesome. But there are enemies in the shadows that conspire against them both. Super fun. This is our A cover. We have our Sanchez B cover, and then our Riley cover right
Yeah,
here.
I like how there's the sanction fight, but that doesn't work out. So we have to do a fight in the street and become street
Fighters,
fighters. Yeah,
yeah.
it's very clever. Okay, next up we've got other printings and graphic novels. So these are reprintings of big issues and some graphic novels that we don't want you to miss out on. Starting with this one's really cool. So I feel like we've been doing facsimiles long enough now that we're getting some very unique ones.
Yeah.
This is My Greatest Adventure number 80. This is the facsimile edition, and if you don't know, this is kind of your proto Doom Patrol.
Okay.
This is the first appearance of Negative Man and Elastigirl and or Elastic Woman and all of that. So it's kind of your pre-Doom Patrol first appearance issue, and there is also a foil version of this as
And I
well.
love the classic covers, but done in foil. It just looks so
Yeah, it
cool.
is just something
Yeah.
very eye-catching about
Yeah,
that.
classic covers, but done in a modern style. I think it's great. And speaking of facsimile editions, we have X-Men number 101, part of the Dark Phoenix saga. And this cover just speaks for itself. This is classic. Everybody knows this one, and it'll be cool. I wish there were a foil version of
I
this one.
know.
You know?
Just wait.
Yeah,
It'll be
it'll
there.
happen.
Soon you'll have an entire run of X-Men and an entire foil run of
Mhm.
X-Men.
That would be awesome.
Okay, next up we also have Spider-Man number 7. This is the third printing of course, the first appearance of Spider-Boy. We're still slowly learning a little bit more about him, but everybody's just hyped for Spider-Boy. We even learned in this most recent one that maybe he has stronger spider senses than Peter does.
Yeah,
We'll have to
but you know what he
find.
doesn't have is web shooters.
No, he doesn't, but he seems to get around just
Yeah,
fine.
poor kid. Daredevil and Echo number 1. This is the second printing by Phil Noto.
And this is which issue was this? Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, the second printing of that one, which features this first appearance of this Spider-Man variant.
This is World Tree number 1, the third printing, and rightly so because this is a really cool book. So if you haven't gotten this yet, definitely this is your next chance to get it. This is really fun.
I like how the cover too, as it like second printing and now third printing, it gets more warped as it
Oh, it
goes.
does, yeah.
Like the stuff from the right side is moving over.
Yeah, like she's a little bit like more pixelated here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't notice
So
it.
they change it up a little bit, which
Yeah,
I really
this is a
like.
creepy book. Yeah.
Okay, next up is the graphic novel Infamous Iron Man. This is 44.99 and collects issue 1 through 12 of the main Infamous Iron Man series and Invincible Iron Man 593 through 600. And this is when Doctor Doom became Iron Man.
Right.
Very interesting, fun series by Brian Michael Bendis. This is during his kind of run on Iron Man. I love the design
Yeah.
for this one. So cool. So if you've never read it, I recommend it, and you can get the entire thing here.
He's in full armor, but he still needs the cloak in the hood.
Yeah, it might get a little cold.
Right. And this is Ironheart: The Saga of Riri Williams. This is on sale for $39.99. I didn't see which ones this collects, but it's very timely because I think they're still in the middle of filming the Ironheart show right now. So if you want to learn about more about her character, if you liked her in Wakanda Forever, then definitely pick up this book. I want to say this collects um, her first appearance and like everything after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's only at $39.99,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. So next up we have Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. It says deluxe edition, but I don't think there's an undeluxe edition.
Right.
So it's just deluxe because it is.
Yeah.
This collects issues 1 through 7 of the Mark Silvestri written and drawn series that you really enjoyed
I
this.
really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, so comes with our recommendation, and it is only $29.99.
Next one is one
I'm really excited about
I'm
this.
excited about this. I don't. Yeah, it's like, do I need this? I think maybe I do. The Batman Adventures Omnibus, collecting. Is this everything? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. Like, I mean, this is so good. Harken back to Batman the animated series, just more Batman animated series goodness, and now it's all in one book, and it's a big one too because this is $150. And usually when an omnibus is that much, they're big old
Especially
thick books.
DC. DC doesn't have
Yeah.
like a tap out for size.
Right.
They get really big. So I just wonder if this will have the new animated series. You
Mm,
know, it's like Batman animated series and the new adventures that
yeah.
came later. I'm not sure if it has both of those in it because I don't remember how long that original series ran. But I feel like this is big enough to collect everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, especially at that size and that price, it's got to have everything. Yeah, DC doesn't go small. When they do, they don't do as many omnis as Marvel does, but when they do, they're
They
they're
tend to collect
big.
everything
Everything,
of
yeah, yeah,
a
everything.
story. Okay, next up we have Love Sick. It's not volume one. It is, you know, pretty much the entire story. This is how do you describe this book? I think I put it's about the kind of dark web
Mhm.
and the very sadistic things that go on there, and we follow our character Domino as she tries to survive this, but also thrive there. It is a very twisted, dark series with beautiful art. It's 17.99. Definitely very mature.
Very mature. Don't let your kids look at it.
Don't
Very
let them be in
similar.
the same room as it.
Right, yeah, it reminds me a lot of Red Room, tamed down just a little bit, but not
It
much.
came down in one place and turned up in another
Right, yeah,
place, and you can figure out what those
yeah.
places are. Okay, next we are going to go over all of the miniseries and one shots for Night Terrors. So as you can see, this is Infinity Flux presents Night Terrors miniseries and one shots. Uh, I'm very excited about all of these. You know, we'll be covering them all on our review show, but here's what's really important about these. Because we have to order 3 weeks worth of DC books, there's a lot in this, and your stores really need to know which one of these you want. Now, these will uh, not 100% be replacing the books that are coming out in those months, but there will be a substitute for a lot of them.
Yeah, so like anything, any book that is set in current right now, in the main continuity right now, like Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Green Arrow, any of that kind of stuff, those books are taking a pause for 2 months. And in the place of these are two-issue miniseries with those same characters, and a lot of those are done by the same creative teams too. So it does still feel like you're getting the next issue of whatever book that is, but it's just focusing on this story instead, which is kind of nice. Instead of taking a series that's ongoing and trying to shoehorn it into this,
Yeah,
they're putting a pause on the main books, telling this story, and then after the two issues, after August, everything's going to resume the way it was. But you still are going to have books like that are out of continuity, like World's Finest and the Teen Titans, World Finest Teen Titans, and all your Black Label books. Those are going to be resuming like or going on like normal. But it's these mainline books that are taking a pause for this.
yeah, and what's also important about these, like you said, because they are not replacing them, these aren't like in the numbering of the main
Right,
one.
right.
Some stores may pull them for you if you are getting those books, some may not. So it's very important that you let your store know which of these you want. Because we'll talk about it, but a lot of these are written by the writers of the
Yeah,
main series. So it's gonna feel like if you're liking that series, you'll probably like this one.
absolutely. Yeah.
But let's get into it, starting with Night Terror's Batman. So this is written by Joshua Williamson and the art is by Gilliam March. So in this, we know Batman is one of course, the key players in this Night Terror storyline. In this two-issue miniseries, Batman is stalked by the symbol that he has created in this nightmare realm. So I've got a little preview of this. You can see kind of what that horrible creature is there at the bottom, but let's say it's a bat hybrid with a weapon that definitely scars
Mm-hmm.
Batman's Bruce Wayne's past. So I think this one's really cool. Joshua Williamson, great writer. You can tell since he's writing the main book and this one, it's going to be very important. But like we said, this is not replacing or it is replacing the main Batman title, but not like within the main series.
Yeah.
So if you're enjoying Batman or you want to get this Batman, tell your store. We also have the Mattina variant.
I love these
Now, this is
covers. These are
interesting
great.
too. I believe all of these books have about 4 open order covers, and you'll kind of start seeing a pattern. This is our Puppeteer Lee variant, which is just horrifying.
Yep.
And I will say that this moment does happen in the book. And we also have this Destin to Win Midnight variant, which all of these will have one of these.
So next we have Night Terror's Black Adam. This is written and drawn by Jeremy Hahn. In this book, Black Adam is defending in the middle of defending Kandak, when he and everyone else in the country is put under the nightmare wave. And I don't know what nightmares he's going to see, but if he's right in the what I think of is, if he's in the middle of defending the country and then he's put to sleep, does whatever he's defending it against, what happens to that? Is it,
Yeah, I think everything falls asleep.
well, yeah, that's
So
true. Unless, yeah, you're right.
unless it's like a
Unless whatever he's fighting against doesn't succumb to the
yeah.
nightmare way. Yeah, so that should be interesting. So we have our A cover here. This is by Jeremy Hunt, and then our B cover is by Christian Ward. Our C cover is by Tiago da Silva, and then we have a Dustin Nguyen cover as well.
Okay, next up, we have Night Terrors The Flash, and this one is going to be written by Alec Pagnadal, and the art is by Daniel Bayliss. And not a whole lot is said about this one. It just says Barry is trapped in a nightmare cage that he will have to find his way out of. So, this is taking place between, as we're transitioning from Flash 800 to the new Flash that's going to be by Cy Spurrier
Yeah,
and
Mike
Mike
Deodato.
Deodato Jr. So this is kind of an in-between one. So if you are jonesing for some more Flash, because we're not going to have it for a little bit, this will be great.
Yeah, this is exactly why Flash 800 just came out, ending that run. The new Flash #1 doesn't come out till September, and this is exactly why, because there's a #1 and #2 in July and
Yeah.
August.
We also have our, this is the Torrin Clark variant. We have our Bayless cover, so that's your interior artist. That one's really cool. And of course, we have the Destined to Win one as well.
Night Terror's Green Lantern. So this is written by Jeremy Adams, who is the current writer of the brand new Green Lantern book. And then there's a backup story written by Alex Segura. In this one, in the new Green Lantern book, the Green Lanterns of Earth are quarantined. They're banned from leaving the planet. But in this book, they do it anyway because we've got Hal Jordan, Kilowog, and a few other lanterns. They break that quarantine, I guess, to go to space to investigate a mysterious disturbance in Sector 2814. I'm guessing it has something to do with the Nightmare Wave. And then the backup story features Sinestro, where he has to face the darkest corners of his past and his future.
Ew.
So that should be pretty cool. So yeah, again, just continuing, same creative team or same writer at least as the current Green Lantern book. So that is going to take a pause with #2. Then we're going to get these next two Night Terrors, and then it'll resume with #3 in September. So yeah, we have our A cover here. Let's see. Our B cover is by Derek Robertson. Our C cover is by Mike Deodato Jr., we'll see on the Flash pretty soon. And then we have our Dustin Nguyen D cover. All these D covers, like like they should connect.
Yeah.
Like they should connect, and they're all their heroes are in the dark trying to figure
Yeah.
out what's going on.
Okay, this one I feel like is going to be a
Right.
highlight of this
Yeah.
event. This is Night Terror's Joker. This is written by Matthew Rosenberg, who was writing the Joker series. And the art is by Sifali. And this just sounds super fun. So, what is Joker's worst nightmare? Well, it is having a day job.
Yeah, a 9 to 5 desk job. I can relate to this cover right here.
Just from the stuff we talk about with
Yeah.
like corporate world and stuff,
Mhm.
it's very funny to read the solicitation about this where it talks about he goes up against horrifying things like how will he handle meetings that could have been done by email and who is picking up lunch.
Yep.
And all this like just corporate stuff that is going to drive Joker sane.
Yeah.
Not drive him crazy. It's gonna drive him just to be mundane and boring.
Yeah, this is great because I mean, like the Night Terrors, like the story and most of the books sound pretty scary almost, right? But then this one is the complete opposite, but it still works because that's what's scary to him.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic.
I just hope
Genius.
the entire thing just feels kind of like Office Space.
Yeah.
Just him just
Yeah.
slugging it throughout the
Yeah.
day. So I think this one's gonna be a hot one.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
We also have, I believe this is a Mattina variant. It's a little bit scarier.
Mhm.
We have our Simon Bianchi variant. And we have our Destin Win Midnight variant.
So this one actually sounds a lot like the Joker one. This is Night Terror's Poison Ivy. And in this one, she basically finds herself in a perfect world. House, white picket fence. She's with Harley. everything is just hunky dory, basically. But is that what she wants? We don't know. So this one, it makes me think of the Joker one, because this one actually doesn't sound so scary to most of us, but to Poison Ivy, it might actually be pretty scary. So I just
Yeah.
think it's more genius. This, just taking the idea, a nightmare doesn't have to mean the same thing to everybody. So I like that they're playing with that a little bit.
Yeah, it's got very "Don't Worry, Darling" vibes
Yeah.
too, with the white picket
Oh, that's
fence
right.
and
Yeah.
the backyard barbecues and all of
Yeah.
that.
And this is written by G. Willow Wilson, who is writing the Fantastic Poison Ivy series. So again, if you're enjoying that, you're definitely going to want to pick this up, because it's the same team. So we have our A cover by Jessica Fong. Our B covers by Leslie Larix Lee. We have our Jamie McKelvey cover, which that is a great example of
Yeah.
what the story is going to be. And then our Dustin Nguyen D cover.
Next up, we have a kind of a unique one. This
Yeah.
is Night Terror's Ravager, and this is going to be written by Ed Brisson and the artist by Dexter Soy. I really like Dexter Soy, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
This is, if you read one of the previous one-shot issues,
It was in Batman, the Brave and the Bold, the Dawn of DC book. It was one of the
yes,
stories in that. There was a story focusing on Stormwatch.
Stormwatch,
Yeah,
where Ravager is now a member of
yeah,
Stormwatch. So this kind of comes from that a little bit. She is separated from Stormwatch and in a nightmare world where she has to protect a younger version of herself from being consumed by the Murder Man and his Slaughter Squadron. So sounds like some kind of a first appearance of new characters, or
yeah,
like weird twisted versions of them. It says, "Why are they so familiar?" I have a feeling Slade Wilson's gonna have some part in them
yeah.
as well.
And I'm excited about Dexter Soy, because he did the Deathstroke Year One story arc
Uh
in
huh.
the Deathstroke Inc. book, and I really like that. And I thought the art really matched the grittiness of that story. So this sounds like a win for me.
Yeah, it really cool. So this is our A cover. We have our Mattina cover.
Tina covers on all these are so great.
Yep. This one is crazy.
Ooh.
So this is the
Looks like
Massafara.
she left her helmet on a little too long, and it got stuck, and she had just ripped it off.
Oof, her face is still stuck on the inside of her
Yeah,
mask.
exactly. Yeah.
And we have the Dustin to Win cover.
Next is Night Terror's Robin. This one sounds really cool too. Written by Kenny Porter, art by Miguel Mendoza. This one features Jason Todd and Tim Drake working together. They're taken into the nightmare realm, where they're forced to relive the darkest moments of their lives.
They have some
I'm
dark moments.
Yes, I'm really interested to see. I mean, we all know, but like Jason Todd, the darkest moment of his life is getting beat to death with a crowbar
We
from the
see the
Joker.
crowbar on there
There it is.
too.
Yeah, so I want to see. I mean, that was already a nightmare, and it really happened to him. So, what is it going to be like in the nightmare realm? Like, I think that sounds really fascinating, and I love. It's great anytime we see Tim Drake and him, and we don't see just him and Jason too much. So, seeing them work together should be pretty cool. So, this is the A cover by Ivan Reis. James Stokoe B cover here. We have a Liam Sharp cover, which
It's
that
like a
one.
Jaws homage.
Yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it? I didn't see the rubber ducky at the top there.
It's
And
very
then
odd.
our Dustin Wynn Midnight Variant. They must have told him about these way long time
Yeah.
ago. Like it
He's
took him
been,
a while.
yeah. Okay, this one I'm really excited about because this is Night Terror Shazam. This is written by Mark Waid, so your
Mhm.
ongoing Shazam writer. And we even got a taste of this in the previous issue of Shazam, with Mary Marvel falling asleep and at the very end, leading into this story. But in this, it says that Billy Batson and Shazam have separate nightmares. They're on
Oh,
separate kind of nightmare journeys.
okay.
And what's all that going to be about? And it says that there is going to be a new character, or enter, as they like to say, Keth Shazam. So I wonder if
Oh,
that's that in the background,
yeah.
kind of maybe a mashup of Shazam and Black Adam. I don't know, but it sounds really cool. So by Mark Waid and Roger Cruz. This is our A cover by Dan Mora. We have our B cover. This is by Hayden Sherman. We have our C cover by Lenoble, and our Dustin Nguyen variant.
And then we have Night Terrors Zatanna, written by Dennis Culver. So if you are a fan of the current Doom Patrol, Unstoppable Doom Patrol series, written by Dennis Culver, I absolutely love that book. then you're most likely going to want this one because he is the writer on this one. David Baldion is the artist. This one sounds really interesting, like a good take too, because in this one, Zatanna is defending Wonder Woman and Detective Chimp. They have succumbed to the nightmare wave. They're asleep. She's defending them, and she can't do it alone. She's trying to defend them from the Sleepless Queen, but she needs help. So she puts out a call to any hero that's awake. And she gets Robot Man, which I thought was interesting because, like, oh, I guess maybe he doesn't sleep because he's a robot. So the two of them are trying to fend off the Sleepless Queen from getting to Wonder Woman and Detective Chimp. Yeah, so this is going to kind of sort of take the place of your Unstoppable Doom Patrol book. And I think this one sounds cool too. So this is our A cover by David Baldion. We have our B cover by Kendrick Kunka Lim. We have our Miko Suyan C cover, and then our Dustin Nguyen variant as well. Ooh, she's holding her own.
Yeah.
She's holding her head. Weird. Okay.
Yeah, this one I just think is super creepy.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
It could have been a deceased variant.
Yeah. Oh, it could. Yeah.
And that is that for Comics for the Future and our DC Night Terrors special look. So I can't express how important it is for you to get your orders in for these. Uh, Shops really have to do guessing games on
Yeah.
numbers for these because no one's technically really subscribed to these unless you've went to your store and said you want these, but no like rollover from the previous
Yeah. Because they
series.
show up as different items,
Yeah,
right?
they're
To you,
different
right? Yeah.
items to us. So we really need to know who wants them and which ones you want. But hopefully, we've let you know all of the kind of details about them so you get a better idea as you're placing your orders this weekend for what's to come. So there's still some more Night Terrors books to come.
Yeah.
That wasn't all of them, and those were just issue ones of them.
Yeah.
So this is going to be about 2 months worth of books that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks. But like we said, head over to infinityflux.net, place your orders now, subscribe. You can subscribe to these. They are, considered mini series, even though
Mhm.
they're 2 issues. So go and subscribe to the ones you want, pick the variant covers you want, and we'll be reviewing them when they come out on the
Absolutely.
show. But thank you so much for watching. Uh, Definitely stick with us for our Monday show where we're going to be going over all the books coming out that week, doing our spoiler-free review video. And until then,
See you
bye.
later.